Recently, we were just given the news about the Sony PlayStation 5 Pro, which is going to retail bare bones starting at $700 with no disk drive, bare bones with all the new specs and everything that comes with it. A lot of people were outraged at the price for a video game console, let alone a console that doesn't necessarily have too many games that anybody wants to play these days. Is it a precursor to the PlayStation 6? Is this letting us know how much things are going to cost moving forward with PlayStation consoles or consoles in general, next generation, which is possibly the last generation for an actual console? Are we moving into like a Google Stadia only, controller only, cloud-based Apple Arcade kind of gaming atmosphere moving forward? With all these questions, my question is about the Nintendo Switch Pro or the Nintendo Switch 2, whatever you call it. Everybody has their ideas about when it's going to drop, what it's going to entail. I wonder if the Nintendo Switch 2 has to be much more powerful than the current Nintendo Switch, obviously, for it to be considered a next generation console, for it to entice people to want to purchase it. But how much will it go? Nintendo, as a franchise, has always had this execution of having a cheaper price point than the other consoles that they were competing with. And seeing that the PS5 Pro is going to be $700 when maybe the PS6 is going to be possibly $700. People are asking, do you think it's going to be that much? I don't personally think it's going to cost that much. I think this Nintendo Switch 2 or the Nintendo Switch Pro, and this is just off top guessing, will be still under 600, under 500 really, or at 500 at most. I still think that they go for the fun factor, having the best IPs, having these kind of recognizable IPs that everybody loves and has known for 40 plus years now, having a stronger, sleeker, more adult, which everybody wants. They want this console that resembles a more serious home entertainment experience. I don't think it's gonna happen. It could possibly be something falling near that, but being too expensive is not in Nintendo's business plans. It never has been. They've always been kind of family centric. A lot of people thought that with the Wii and the Wii U, it's been more so kid centric. And whether you believe that or not, having a handheld hybrid situation, it still involves young people that might have siblings, and how many people are going to be able to afford multiple versions of this. I have a Nintendo Switch in my house right now that's obviously mine. Me and my wife play all the time, and it's like the house Nintendo Switch. But I have my two oldest children have Nintendo Switch Lites. I don't think they're gonna make this thing $500, $600. I think possibly $400 would be the most expensive console they've ever sold, and they still have an opportunity to raise the specs. What do the specs look like on the next generation Nintendo console? I think if it's a Nintendo Switch iteration, possibly docked 3840 by 2060p to up the quality handheld, at least a 1080p screen. I don't think they're going to go any higher than that. But this is just speculation. I don't have any, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have the inside scoop or anything like that. But to have a 1080p screen to play handheld while you're out and about, but also have a the UHD version of 4K 3840 by 2060p screen docked, I think that's comparable to at least what a PS5 is right now, docked. Nintendo's always been kind of behind the curve when it comes to the strength of the hardware to match at least the latest specs of a PS5 or whatever Xbox. I have no clue what they're doing. It seems like they're getting out of the physical console race altogether, but that's just speculation as well. I think that the Nintendo Switch 2, the Nintendo Switch Pro will live around $400. Bare bones, one controller, no game, $400. We'll see in the future who's right about this one. All right, $400 I think is them pushing the envelope to get what they need. $100 more than what they're selling now, I think, would legitimize at least paying for at least a $400 console to at least hit a 4K resolution. I don't know. I'm not going to go into frame rates and hertz and all of that because we can get really specific on what we think we deserve from Nintendo. Or I don't think that Mario needs to look like Wukong. I don't think that Mario needs to look like, or Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart 10 needs to look like the next generation futuristic, the artistic style an approach to those 3D models and textures are already, to me, as good as they're going to get for cartoon-like characters. So, and they know this. They know these things. You know, they've been working on these things for years and years, obviously. So when they roll it out, I think it's going to be around $400. For, you know, $399 will look better on paper, obviously, and anything less than that would be amazing. But then you'd know that the quality on the hardware would be definitely lacking to have something under $400. But nothing, no way is Nintendo selling a console for $500, $600. Well, if they sell it, if anything, to me the highest $500. I don't know if that's because of the price of chips and the price of, you know, PCBs and all kind of like engineering jargon that I don't necessarily understand. But $600, $700, people are just kind of afraid because this is my favorite brand, like a lot of people's, Nintendo's, and we see what just happened with Sony, and there's a lot of things happening in gaming that people may not appreciate or understand, like PlayStation having lawsuits about seasons of television shows people can't get back that they purchased and things like that. You know, there's a lot of just up and down about the gaming industry. Like there's a lot of up and down about industries in general that are kind of falling apart or being restructured over the past year with all the layoffs across different media outlets and companies. So yeah, I believe $400 bare bone, maybe some type of iteration where it's $499 at the most. But I do believe $399 is going to be a solid price for Nintendo Switch 2. If they call it that, whatever they, you know, but they did themselves a disservice with the Wii and calling the next generation the Wii U, because there was a lot of confusion. People didn't know what it was. I remember talking to people who didn't know what a Wii U was, and I said, yeah, I have a Wii U. They said, oh, I have one of those. Yeah, we have a Wii. And it's like, no, it's different. And you're trying to explain to people, and they're, you know, they didn't know, and it was just kind of a misstep in the naming. But it was the first, I believe, it was the first HDMI HD system out there. That's the one thing that they beat the competition with when it came to, you know, RCA cables versus how it's going to be projected on the screen through what cords and what, you know, it was the first 1080. I bought a Wii U. That was my reintroduction into gaming. But yeah, $400. We'll see if this ages well in the future. Will you be getting a Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch Pro? Do you care? Do you think it's worth it? Or they're going to have a certain amount of games when that launches that legitimizes the purchase? Obviously, it'll be backwards compatible and play the current Nintendo Switch games, but it's kind of on its last leg. And if it doesn't have a lot of new games, similar to how the PlayStation 5 went, maybe it won't be such a success in the first place, no matter how good it is or no matter how good it looks. You know, if you have a Switch and we don't need it and it's not that much stronger, you know, maybe just like the super duper console heads who love purchasing and collecting will be the ones to go get it. I'm definitely going to be interested in it. Will you? Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.